Yeah, no worries.
So, man, how are you doing? You good?
Yeah, not bad. Bored.
Yeah. Bored.
Want to go
Yeah.
back to work.
Yeah.
Want to go back out and do stuff, but what are you gonna do? You know,
It's hard, man. I didn't realize just how much I actually would miss tattooing. I know I absolutely love it, but for some reason, I just didn't realize. Do you know what? Somebody said something to me the other day, man, and it fucking scared me a little bit. They said, he was talking to me, my friend, and he was like, it'd be good when you can eventually get back to work. But do you not think you might have? Do you think you might have to relearn like a little bit? And I was like, no. I don't know.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah. I fully agree. I'm gonna buy some of that fucking like real skin or something and just smash out a few pieces before I go back, I think.
Yeah, actually, I've got what are they called? The pound of flesh. I've got a pound of flesh hand.
That's it. Yeah. I think I'm gonna do the same just to sort of like brush up.
Yeah, I think that might be cool. Like do a portrait or something.
I don't think it will. I think we'll be fine, but yeah, it's definitely a worry, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't know. I can't imagine forgetting. The only thing that would really get to me a little bit, I think if you're pulling, the only times I've ever found something like that can happen is if you pull lines. I mean, with a lot of the work that you do, you don't really pull any lines, but I mean, I've always found like when it comes to doing, if I ever come down to doing an actual like lining a piece first, you realize just how refined it actually has to be. You know, you come down to that final point and you're like, oh my God, am I shaking? You know what I mean? It's weird.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, man. But so how we
larger scale stuff as well, where you're pulling lines down like the whole of the back or something. It's just yeah. I think a lot of that is muscle memory, isn't it? And if you're out of practice with that, it could definitely take a little while to get back to it.
Yeah, I think so, man. It's scary though. Like, what's it like around you? Because you live right on the coast. You live well over 300 miles away from me. What's it like down there?
To be honest with you, we've been lucky. Like, we've got the lowest of any of the cases of anything. So like we're on that graph. We're like right at the bottom line.
Right.
So I think there's yesterday I think there was the closest hospital to me is Torbay, which is like 30-40 minutes away, and they had like one new case yesterday. So we've been pretty lucky, you know.
That's super good. That's really good.
Yeah.
Like where up here there's not too many up in the northwest of England, but like I mean, in the town I live in, it's a small little town. I just found out yesterday, I saw my brother yesterday, and he said that 2 people have died just recently in this town. I'm just like, oh my God.
Yeah, it's scary, man, isn't it?
Yeah, it's scary. It's scary.
Scary.
It's weird because like I did a podcast not long ago with a guy, and he was talking about like, because there's tons of, I'm not a conspiracy theorist at all. So like I've listened to a lot of them, but I definitely think there is a virus, but a lot of people out there don't think there is even actually a virus. But I don't know. I think it's scary because imagine if this just had a higher death rate. It'd be insane to think that, you know, like, because I don't think it only seems to be targeting the older generation, you know.
Yeah, I mean the way I think of it is because I'm like, you know, I sort of, again, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but I definitely like look into things like that.
Yeah.
But I think you've got a 50-50 chance. It's either bollocks or it's not. So that's like not a good gamble, is it? You know, like if you had 2 jelly beans, one's poisonous, one's not, you wouldn't try one, would you?
No.
Just fucking do what they're saying and crack on, you know.
That's a well good point. Yeah, you're better off. What is it they call it? Erring on the side of caution. You know what I mean? Definitely. Yeah, I think as well.
What's
like,
going on here?
Are you all right? Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I think something's going on with my internet. So.
Oh, there we go. I got you back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's one of them. It's just like I don't know. I think when I did a last tattoo on a Sunday, and I realized at that point that was going to have to be the last, that was going to be the last tattoo I was going to do. And I didn't realize it was going to be for so long. And for some reason, I feel like it's going to be, I don't know. I can't imagine us working as an industry in the UK for at least another month or so.
Well, mate, Ireland's just released their sort of going back plan, and tattoo artists aren't going back till August 10th. Yeah. Yeah, I saw that yesterday. Then it's like the actual Irish government have basically released like this. They're doing it in 5 stages. So like garden centres are first, and then like some other shops, and we're in the 5th stage.
Oh my
which
God.
is shit, man. August 10th in Ireland. So I'm guessing England's going to be similar.
Yeah,
maybe?
similar or a little bit further forward.
A little bit further back, yeah.
The thing is I struck a little bit of a deal with the guy who I rent my studio off, and he gave me like a cut price on a 6-month period. So I've paid up till September, and thinking that will be fine. He was like, I think you'll be able to work in September. You'll be fine. And I was like, yeah, that'll be fine. And now it's like, I hope so.
yeah. Fuck, man.
I don't know.
It's scary, man. Our landlord's useless. He's not giving us anything.
No?
Just pay your rent.
Oh my God, really?
Yeah. And it's not even like he needs it, man. He's like a multi-millionaire who just fucking owns shit everywhere.
People get greedy though, don't they? I think that's how they become millionaires, though, don't they? They're just like, no, I want the money.
Yeah. No, I can't lose that money a month.
Of course you can. It's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, exactly. You already own like 7 buildings in the city that I'm in, and you're just old as fuck and don't do anything. So yeah, you're probably good.
Yeah, man. So that's it about the virus, really. It's one of them where I find that you've got to talk about it because it's like the most fucking prevalent thing right now, isn't it? And it's affected.
It's like the elephant in the room, isn't it? You can't not talk about it.
Oh man, it stopped us from working, which is an absolute ball ache. But I've wanted to talk to you for ages, man. I've wanted to meet you for ages. I feel like this is the way people are going to start to meet each other a little bit more now, because I think I don't know. It's a good way to do things, I think.
Yeah, definitely. And conventions seem to be like, I mean, man, I feel sorry for those guys, like the organisers and stuff, because they spend the whole year, don't they, getting them together, and then just straight away they've pretty much, I mean, I assume for this year there's going to be none. I don't think there'll be any conventions this year.
I can't imagine, man. I think what sucks about it as well is stuff like that, you know, like large gatherings, like when realistically, Dris, when do you think the next gig's going to be? You know what I mean? They're like a cesspool for breeding viruses, aren't they? You can't. How can you? For sure. And you can't social distance at a gig. You know what I mean?
No.
You know,
no, not at all. Anything, any event like that. You know, a rugby match, anything. They're not going to do it, are they? You know?
Yeah, and it's so weird as well. It's so weird as well when you think about gigs or rugby matches, football matches, fighting events like the UFC or anything like that. Doing them without crowds, it just seems so unattractive.
Yeah, definitely.
Do you know what I mean?
It's such a spectator sport, isn't it? To have like a football game going on in an empty stadium just seems completely bizarre. Yeah, mental.
Yeah, conventions was something I was going to ask you about. Like, I mean, how long have you been tattooing now?
Just over 10 years, I think.
Yeah.
Maybe 10, 11 years, I think.
I think when I first started tattooing, I really, really enjoyed doing conventions, because I felt like it was, it was something like, oh yeah, I'm going to do it. And I think they had a little bit more of an allure back then as well. You know, there was so many more. We had Tattoo Jam and places like that. You know, like, you know, but now they seem to have just taken a bit of a step off.
Well, I mean, like, I remember the first year I did Liverpool convention, and it just fucking blew my mind. You know, I'm from a tiny little seaside town. I got to this fucking great hotel, and just there's hundreds of artists. I was just like, shit, you know. But now you see everything on Instagram, you see everyone on social media, so you just don't like, nothing's a fucking mystery or anything anymore, is it?
Yeah, and exactly, and you're not doing it for, you know, like publicity. I mean, you don't need any publicity. You've got your social media account, you've got your clients, which will, you know, it stays in a steady, like, you have new clients, you have old clients, they come back. Yeah, definitely. So, you know, you booked up for like, I mean, the way I used to see it is like, you book up for like 8 or 9 months or something, and then I think I'd much rather now only be booked up for 3 months, 4 months, because it's just...
That's what I do now. I only booked 3 months and then I close my diary.
Yeah, I think it's way easier.
Man, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. Because I mean, I remember when I was booked up for like 8-9 months, and you think like, oh, I want to go and do a guest spot, and you're like, fuck, I could do it next year.
Yeah.
Or I want to go on a holiday, and you're like,
Yeah.
it's just fucking drives you insane.
Yeah.
It's mental.
And people are booking in and then you know, like they're booking in and having to wait like 7 or 8 months, and it's just it just seems strange. It always used to seem strange for me, but I mean the industry's got more saturated now anyway. There's a lot more people, there's a lot more artists, which is I mean, sometimes good, but I think sometimes bad, but mostly good. I think it's always good to have new artists, new people, new like people to look up to, or new people to push you and things like that. When you got into tattooing, man, like how did you go the normal conventional route? How did you do it, man? How did you end up being a tattoo artist?
I was doing A-levels when I was like getting into tattooing. I mean, I was getting tattooed from the age of like 13 or something stupid like that.
Yeah.
And I just loved it. And then I basically taught myself, and then went over to Australia for a bit and met some guys out there that were tattooing and started doing it out there, and came back and just sort of jumped straight into it, really. I was lucky in that respect. But I mean, back then it was different, man. It wasn't cool.
Yeah.
Like everyone I spoke to I was saying like, oh yeah, I want to be a tattoo artist. They were just like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
You know, like really? Like what the fuck? You've been to school, like I got A-levels and stuff. Like they were like, why the fuck did you go to uni? Why do you want to draw on people? So, you know, it was a weird way, but it was just different back then, man. Like now it's such a popular, like everyone loves it. And like I remember going in supermarkets and you got your hands and your fingers tattooed, and people would fucking look at you like fucking hell, is he gonna rob me or something? Whereas now you get 18-year-olds and they're getting like their face tattooed and stuff.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
It's great. It is. I mean, it's going to evolve, isn't it? And it definitely has evolved. You know, but you're definitely right. I think I've been tattooing for about 13 years, and the difference in that change. But then I remember when I first started tattooing, and I first got into, you know, really like into tattooing when I first started, and just looking back at the 10-year history before that and seeing how quickly it had moved since then, you know, like before us there was like Guy Aitchison and all these kind of stuff that were like starting to push boundaries.
Oh man, yeah, those guys just fucking changed the game, man.
Yeah.
When you think of the artists now that are doing incredible stuff and getting a lot of hype, when you think of the guys 10 years ago that started doing that, like what the fuck, man? Like Guy Aitchison just came out with that shit, you know?
Yeah. And
it's
then like, you know, like portrait artists from back then, you know, like when you first started. For me, when I first ever started and I was looking at realism, there's quite a few people, but like Nico Hurtado was one that was like, this guy, man, he had the DVDs when he was painting, when he was doing the tattooing the Day of the Dead ladies, you know, with the and he was doing that, and I was just like, this dude is just on a different level. And to be honest, he's continued to constantly be on a different level to a lot of different portrait artists. But back in the day, what were some of the early influences for you back in the day?
I mean, Jeff Gogoi, massively.
Yeah.
Like his, like, again, you get portrait artists that their work is flawless, but Jeff's work was just fucking beautiful to look at. Yeah. Like, you know, his colour theory and everything, it was just stunning. And Claire Reid as well.
Yeah.
Like, and I've been lucky to work with Claire, and again, nicest person in the world. She came and guested at our studio, and her work, similar sort of style to Jeff's, where it was just stunning, man, to look at. Like, you could put it on a wall and it would just look incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, those guys really, and a lot of the Russian guys like Samahin and stuff like that, just for like pushing boundaries.
Let's just take a time. That guy deserves like a little moment just in this podcast, doesn't he? Dmitry Samoin, like that guy. I remember when I first saw his work, and there seems to be a style that comes out of that region that's completely different to any other style on the planet. Like, do you know what, actually? I will say this, that I think I see shades of it in your work. Like when I look at your work and the way you render something, you might not even done it subconsciously. Just the looseness in some of your work. That's it's hard to explain. I was trying to think about how I can explain how I see it. Like there's you pick certain shapes in realism, but whilst also that's quite loose, but then also the refined detail, just exactly where it's needed. And I fucking truly admire that. And I think that I used to see that a lot in Dimitri Samowin's work, but his black and grey and his colour is just unbelievable, and he continues even
Insane.
now. And his acrylic paintings as well, man.
Yeah, no one can touch him. Like, considering again, he's been tattooing since the beginning, really, hasn't he? Like, and still no one comes close. Like, no one. You see a Dimitri piece, and you're just like, yeah, that's fucking Samahin.
Yeah,
there's no question about it, you know.
Yeah.
And just like seeing healed work as well of his is just like fuck, you know.
Yeah.
Like a lot of tattoo artists, I can try and pick it apart and go like, oh, I kind of see how they've done that, and like, you know, like, oh, they've done that with Samahins. You look at it and you just go, what the fuck, man? Like, yeah, no idea. Don't even know where he started.
There's a few other people. I remember there was quite a controversial artist who came out of that region as well. I think Ukraine, because he was, I don't even want to say it really, but Dan Yakovlev, he has that similar style. Incredible.
You were going to say that.
Yeah.
We all heard the stories, didn't we? With Do you remember Odd Boy like called him out?
Yes.
Yeah, and he was just
There was quite a few people that called him out as well, that were like, I don't understand how you can support someone like that. You know, it's bang out of order. You know, because he used to openly tattoo portraits of like Hitler and some of the SS soldiers. You know, and he would put them out there. You know what I mean? And he didn't care. It is what it is. But when you look at the artistic side of it, he has that same flair, that flair. From, that's just, it's really hard to put a finger on it, but he's another one.
He's a brilliant artist.
Yeah, he's unbelievable. Like, but
just
Samo,
talking about inspiration as well. A quick shout out to Odd Boy as well. He was a massive inspiration when I was starting tattooing. I got tattooed by him, luckily, when I was just starting, and super helpful guy. Again, like super solid work. Yeah, it's kind of like where a lot of these artists have gone the whole polarizing filter route and taken that whole fucking social media fame. Like, again, Matt's kind of stuck with his guns and just doing solid work all the fucking time. So he's a massive inspiration as well.
Yeah, and he's like yourself, and I think like everyone who's a tattoo artist should do. He's actually an artist, you know, like not just going to the studio and just tattooing images of things, you know, and just being a tattooist, being an actual tattoo artist. You can see he puts work in at home. You know, he draws, he paints. He's a super solid artist. You know what I mean? I've always, there's a guy who I tattooed from Chester, and he absolutely loves Oddball. He loves his work. You know what I mean? It's his stuff like that. You know, when you can see people's work, and you know that they actually put work in at home as well. I think that's a massive.
Yeah, and I think like I think I'm not one of these people that thinks like, oh, you need to draw, you need to paint. I think it helps without a doubt. Like, I think, you know, just through myself, when I paint more, I find my tattooing progresses without a doubt.
Yeah.
But I've also got no problem with someone who's just like, I just want to fucking go to work and tattoo and go home again.
Yeah, man. You know, it is what it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
definitely. I think I'm trying to think about the way you can say it. You know, like you can, like I said, I've used before. You can have a joiner who's really good at doing joinery work, but then you can have different levels. You can have someone who's just going to be constantly doing good work, but then you can have someone who's progressing so much, being a great joiner, creating amazing pieces of like woodwork and stuff like that. That's how much work you put in at home.
Oh, definitely.
You know?
Yeah, definitely, man. And it like the art side of it makes a huge fucking difference without a doubt. Even with just things like composition and stuff like that, and just recognizing like contrasts and stuff. Yeah, it all definitely helps.
Yeah, like composition wise, you've got that. That's another thing I was going to say about your work. That if anyone who's listening doesn't know your work, they should go and check it out. And I'll put some pictures up with this. But like your compositions and your realism, you know, like I admire a lot of that. You're very open in a sense of like putting designs out there to be like, look, get this. I want you to get this. If you're stuck for ideas, these are my ideas. These are what I want to do. These are subject matters which I think would look good on the skin. I think that's really good, man. Like over a period of time, like putting things onto, especially with realism. I think realism's, you know, you could do bio or things like that and make it fit on the skin. Realism's a different way to try and make it.
Man. Yeah, like composition is difficult, and just getting people to get cool compositions. Because I've done, when I first started, because I never used to do realism. I always did like neo-traditional, and like if you go back far enough on my social media, you can find like old neo-trad and Japanese stuff that I used to do. So when I first started, I did designs for free. I'd just go, I want to tattoo this, like cool design, and I'll just fucking tattoo it on my day off for free. And that sort of built up a clientele to which I could put out designs and they'd go like that. They'd go straight away. Whereas nowadays, I feel, again, because of social media, everyone's looking at like tattooed models. They all just want exactly the same tattoos. So you put out all these custom designs that are like really cool and really different, and everyone's just like, nah, man, I just want the fucking same thing that I saw on this model that I follow or something. So like that. Like, I find that really difficult, because it's like, as an artist, you want to create something cool, you know, like, and fully it's on someone else's skin, which is fine, it's their tattoo, but a lot of the time they're only looking at things and going, I've seen that there, so I want it on me. So like, just get something better that looks cooler. But I think they're so many people are so transfixed on social media now, they're almost like, no, I just want what everyone else has got. So I find that really difficult nowadays, you know.
It is hard. I think that is hard. I think then they walk into a wall, don't they? So they walk into the studio and you're the wall, and you're the person that's like, yeah, maybe you could do this, or maybe we could do that, and you've got to try and push them and guide them to a certain area, because otherwise, you know, I mean, we're blessed to be able to do something that we love every single day when we get the chance to. But So being able to go to work every day and be like, today I'm going to love doing this piece, and I'm going to love doing this piece. That's the way I felt like after quite a few years of tattooing. I was like, right, I'm going to pick and choose to a certain degree what I want to do, you know. So when people come to you with ideas, I think as well, a lot of people are quite malleable. They will like bend and listen, because if they've seen your work on your mates or something like that, on their mates. They're going to listen to you a little bit. Like with styles though, Dris, like what drew you? Did you segue really quickly to realism, or like what started pulling you that way? Or was it your customers that pulled you that way eventually, because they just kept requesting realism?
I think it was just, I just enjoyed drawing it. Like back then, I mean, I do fuck all with pencils now, which is bad.
But the Joker you did the other day, the Joker you did the other day was sick. So
yeah, it was fun, man. You know, like I haven't done a drawing in like 4 or 5 years, maybe, or something. It's crazy, but like I really enjoyed drawing realism. So I think again, it kind of goes hand in hand. So when I started doing realism tattoos, I just think they look cool. Like that's pretty much what it is. Like I think they look cool. I can kind of like, I just enjoy doing them. There's no stress. Like, I don't like pulling massive lines. It's definitely not my strong point, you know. Like, you know, some of the guys I work with that are doing like crazy detailed line work pieces, I'd be fucking terrible at it. You know, but realism, I just sort of naturally found it, something that worked for me. I just like the way they look. And I think that sort of just, I just enjoy sort of creating tattoos that I would wear on me, or I like to look at. And it just sort of developed from there. And then like with the larger composition stuff, that was what really sort of got me hooked on it, I think. Just doing just fucking big tattoos. Instead of, you know, on someone's arm, instead of going like, oh, you can have like a fucking skull and a lion and a fucking handbag or whatever. Just going like, we'll just take your whole arm and just put a skull, just one skull. And stuff like that was just like, seeing that was really cool, I think. And seeing other artists do it, you know, like people like, Jason Butcher and guys like that, again, which were really like pushing the composition wise, was just different fucking level, man.
Jason Butcher, man, what a guy. I mean, because he's constantly stayed within that the like what's he called it? Deaf romantic? Is it something like that? Or
Death romantic.
yeah, with the skull roses and the female face. Obviously, he's changed a lot now because he's him and Leanne are doing these incredible, like unbelievable
the collaborations. Yeah, like two just incredible artists, just doing madness.
How good are his paintings that he's been doing? Have you seen since the lockdown come in, where he's been boxing bits off, taking bits off? Oh, what the fuck? How ridiculous is that?
He was like a massive, like, when I was starting to paint, he was just like, just at the top of it, you know. Him again, Jeff Gogoi, just looking at their paintings going, what the fuck, how do they do it, you know? Just incredibly talented artists, both of them.
So would you say with painting, because I think as well, if anybody else listens to this, I will point you in the right direction, but painting for me, if I think of Dris Donnelly, like when I think of you as an artist, paintings are a massive part of you, I think, man. Like over the years, I've seen you evolve. Like I love painting, but then I'd drop the ball and I'd be doing other things. I'd be drawing this, I'd be drawing that. But I think with you, you've consistently chipped away at progressing as a painter to the point now where your paintings are just unbelievable, man. And you seem to be able to be prolific in getting them out. Like since this lockdown has come on, you seem to have pulled towards doing like landscapes of like the sea and sunsets and things like that, which are unbelievable. And water, you seem to be drawn to water. What is that? Is it because you live next to the sea?
Yeah, man. Like I've grew up by the sea. I've lived by the sea all my life. I can't live away from it, really. And when I started painting, I was painting more for tattooing. So, you know, I was doing like fucking tattoo stuff and everything. And then I just got to a point really where I was like, I do this imagery all the fucking time. And I really love, like, you know, there's a few artists that I follow that have got nothing to do with the tattoo industry, you know, probably never even had a tattoo on them. And I just love their work. And I was just like, I just love painting seascapes and landscapes, and why the fuck not, you know? Like I feel like I don't need to like just paint stuff, because you see a lot of tattoo artists that paint and they've always got to be painting like dark imagery and stuff like that. And I just feel like, I just paint what I want to paint now. Yeah. And I still enjoy painting skulls, and I've got some plans for like, I mean, I struggle at the minute because I'm stuck in the house. I can paint in one corner of my living room.
Right. Yeah.
So, and I can, because I'm oil painting, I have to do like a layer, let it dry, come back a day later and do more. But I'm in the middle of like building a load of shit at my house. So I'm going to eventually have a big studio where I can just paint like all the time.
Just walk straight in and do it.
Yeah, man. Yeah. And I can have like 3 or 4 paintings on easels at the same time as well. So like, again, I want to, when I can do that, I want to explore like different imagery and kind of do other stuff. But yeah, the seascapes and the sunsets and stuff is purely just because I like them.
Yeah,
I live by the sea. I've got unlimited reference. It's just something I really enjoy doing.
Yeah, because you did a skull. You during lockdown, you did a skull just the other week, which is unbelievable, man. Like, and you seem to be getting a lot of people asking if they can buy them, which is wicked. Yeah. I think really good that you can do something in lockdown as an artist, that you can slowly start to get some income back from just like using your skills. You know what I mean? It's really good.
Yeah, definitely. And like, I really enjoy it. Like, I fucking love painting, man. Like, just plug your headphones in and just, I can be stood there for 4 hours without even noticing I've been there.
Yeah,
it's just I do enjoy it, and not just sort of, I think in the lockdown, because I'm quite like, I like being on my own. I like having my own space, and I got 2 little girls and a partner, and being in like a fucking, like you're probably the same. Being in a house with just stuck in a house is like, drives you a little bit insane after a while, doesn't it? So it's quite nice being able to get that little bit of escapism, really.
Your own escape and your own way to like switch off. And I think more than anything, more than drawing, I think painting's one of those, because you concentrate, you're constantly just thinking about what you want to do with this, what color's going to go into this, how you want it to, what gradient you want with that. Like that's another thing with your paintings just recently, your blends between colors, you know, like over a large scale, you know, like you know, the gradient between, like, I think even you've alluded to it, just this, like the sunsets, you know, going from colors and making them just gradiate through really nicely is like, just, you've got it looking just how nature does it, you know what I mean? But it must be like so hard mentally to keep going until you've got it just right.
Yeah, I mean, again, like with the lockdown, I try and see the positives. I've definitely been doing more like art education. So
Right,
I've been like studying more color theory and stuff like that, which again has helped massively.
Yeah.
Because I think most struggles in painting are just the lack of education. So like if I'm really struggling with a painting, I think like what the fuck don't I know here? Like what don't I know in my head? What haven't I learnt yet that is not enabling me to just go like, I know what colour that is, I know how I should mix that.
Yeah.
So then I've been able to, you know, been lucky that I can go back and sort of read books and try and watch YouTube videos of like incredible painters, and just sort of, again, it's just chipping away, isn't it? It's just getting better and better and better, and just keep chipping away at that sort of education side of things.
Yeah.
And I think like just having time to that, you know, we're all busy, we're all tattooing every day. A lot of the nights we get home, we can't be fucked to sit and watch a 2-hour YouTube video about fucking complementary colours, you know, like you're just like, now I just watch Netflix instead.
Yeah.
But being stuck indoors for 2 months is, I think it's sort of allowed a lot of people. And I've seen loads of people online as well, like, you know, artists that I follow who have just started painting and stuff. And you just think, fucking hell, man, like, you've just done in 3 weeks what it took me like 4 years to do, you know? So I think like, I think it's good.
That's the hardest thing, isn't it? I think being because nowadays we're influenced really easily. You know, if you're on social media and things like that, you see just what level people are at and what what on a day-to-day basis they're putting out, what they're working on. I think it's inspiring, man. I don't think there's anything. Everybody's on their own path and they're on their own.
Definitely. Yeah.
Super inspiring. Oils and between acrylics and oils, what are you more drawn to, man?
Oh, that's a tough question because I use both.
Yeah, you do. That's what I was wondering, man. Because I see you get the finish you get with both of them. For me, is very similar. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Obviously, different medium.
And like that's quite a common thing. I think like I know some incredible painters who paint with acrylic, like hyperrealism with acrylic.
Yeah.
In the same way you see with oils. I think like they're both with acrylics now. I think people used to shy away from them before because you could only really buy cheap, shitty acrylics. So the pigment content in them was just fucking rubbish.
Yeah.
But nowadays you can buy like, I mean, I'd definitely say if you're going to use acrylics, buy good.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people say like it's the tradesman, not the tools, but with acrylic paints, I'd say definitely buy professional quality acrylic paints because the pigment in them is just like I definitely couldn't do a painting with shit acrylics. Like it would take me fucking 30 layers to do it. Yeah. But I think like I'd love a happy medium with the acrylics and with the oils and the acrylics. And I think the alkyd oils, I use them quite a lot now. They're really good because the acrylics dry too fast. So you have to use a medium to slow them down. But even with a medium, you've got maybe like 2 minutes with them. And the oils dry too slow.
Yeah.
So you have to wait a day before you can do another layer. Yeah. So like I try and get like a happy medium, painting with liquid and stuff. But I think oils at the minute I'm preferring.
Right.
Like they're just, because I think they still do, like the pigment in them is still like far higher.
Yeah, much stronger.
Yeah. So it's just speed really. Like I don't really prefer one or the other for like with brushwork or anything. I think they're both pretty similar once you sort of break them down with mediums. But I think just the speed of the drying with oils is a little bit better, and the pigment content. Which means I don't have to do like 3 layers of acrylic with like 1 layer of oil.
Yeah, you were talking. It's weird because like we were talking about people getting different finishes, and going straight back to Samo, and like he's been putting up progress of his acrylic paintings and how he does it. And he did one just recently of a lion eating its catch, you know, eating its food. and you could see, you know, like
yeah.
he just like, he marked it on really, really simply. We just like blocked it in with a pencil, and then he just put block colors on, and eventually just built it up over time to a point where he put one up the other, he put the finished picture up the other day, and it was just ridiculous.
Yeah, that's exactly the same way I work.
Right,
Like,
yeah.
I literally just work super fucking basic. So I'll put like, it looks like a kid's drawing down first, just to cover all the canvas, and then just work like slower and slower. And I think in my head that simplifies it all, because I'm not really thinking of all the time thinking of the whole picture. I'm thinking of sections. So I'm thinking like, you can really get into a section.
Yeah.
I mean, if it looked like salmon hens afterwards, it'd be even better. But you know, but yeah, I think like it's a good way of simplifying paintings.
Yeah,
I think a lot of the time, like when things are super fucking detailed, you look at it as like a one, and it's just for your brain to wrap your head around. It's impossible.
Yeah.
So, like I find it incredible how some artists can like do a la prima paintings just straight off the bat, and
that's just
like
ridiculous.
Insanely realistic painting like that to me is just fucking mind blowing, man. It's such a craft, like such a refined sort of craft. It's incredible.
Yeah, I as well, man. You know, like as far as like paintings, you know, like when you're on your own journey as an artist painting, but then when you go to a museum or an art gallery and you see paintings done hundreds of years ago, and they are on a completely different scale to anything you've considered painting. Like any size canvas you painted, they've painted 4 times bigger, and you just can't fathom how someone in a short space of their lifetime has painted something so detailed. But then it's ridiculous, man. I remember going to Amsterdam, and there's the Wright Museum in Amsterdam, and some of the paintings in there, I think it's because I was stoned at that point, but I was just completely blown away by the level of detail in the oil paintings. And then I would think about like, fuck, man, how are they doing that? You know what I mean? They didn't have anything like we have back then. But then again, you think about it, they're not distracted by social media. They're not distracted by anything like that. You can understand.
Yeah, they're just doing it, aren't they?
Yeah.
And like the other thing as well is they didn't have fucking YouTube.
Yeah.
Like they're like, fuck, how do I mix a like slightly warm flesh tone in a shadow of like a tree? Like we just go like fucking hell, YouTube. Like they've got to sit there and like spend a day just mixing different colours, going like, no, that's not quite right. That's not, you know, so many things. Like I find it with tattoo artists as well. Like when we were learning to tattoo, we had fucking nothing, man.
Yeah.
Like we just tattoo, and if it worked, it worked. If it didn't, it didn't. Whereas now the education online is like, you can see why, you know, a lot of these younger guys are just getting fucking phenomenally good
really
in
quick,
like a short space of time. Yeah. Because they're like, a lot of them as well are coming as really good artists. Because I mean, when I started tattooing, I was fucking shit at painting and drawing. I was terrible. Like, you know, at the time you think you're all right, and you think like, oh yeah. But like, I look back on it now and I think, fucking hell, man. Like my paintings like 5 years ago were awful. Let alone 10 years ago. And yet these younger guys are coming in and they're fully refined artists already. And they've got all this education online, and they're just using a different medium. So it's like, there's going to be some fucking good artists coming through, you know?
Yeah, and it means
it's like exciting. It's pushing everyone. It's good. Really good.
Yeah, I think it's only a good thing. It's only a good thing. The people get annoyed about it or displaced by it, the people that aren't working hard enough. I just think that's it. They need to just push a little bit harder. You know, like I remember years and years ago, Chris Garver on Miami Ink, he said it's easy to become a tattoo artist. It's the hardest thing is becoming a good one. You know, and I think if you're good, you're always going to have work. You're always going to get paid. You know, and to become good, you know, you can't stop working on it, and everything that like, you know, like I said, when you can be a tattoo artist and go to a shop and do your tattoos, that's fine, but I coming back home and working on it, even if it's working on your designs, so like the compositional realism that you put together, you don't just put that together. You sit down. You're sat there digitally thinking about, right, I've got this image, I want to put it together. How's this, you know, I mean, and you're putting all that together so that when it comes down to it and you finish a tattoo and somebody looks at it and they think, fuck, how does he how did he make that blend and fit with that? I would never have thought of that. Yeah, it's because he's put time in and he's made his own designs. You know what I mean?
Moved it around 20 times where it looked shit, and finally found that one bit and go, oh shit, yeah.
Oh, that fits in there. Yeah,
great.
Yeah. Jeff,
I fully agree with that, man.
Yeah, like you were talking about with Jeff Gogwe, man. Jeff Gogwe is one of them. Like, I've got quite a few of his prints in my house, and I always remember seeing. I went to go and get tattooed by Cecil Porter in Hull, is it Hull? Sheffield. In Sheffield, I went to go and get tattooed by him, and I went downstairs into this studio where he was at, and there was this huge painting, and I was just like, wow, like straight away when I was waiting to get tattooed, I was just looking at it like, what the fuck? And I looked down and it was like, oh, Jeff Gogwe, no way. And looking at it, and apparently he painted that in one night. He was there doing a guest spot for like, I think he was doing a guest spot for like 5 days or something while I was in the UK. He was there for 5 days. And as a thank you for him being there, in one night, he painted this painting. And I wish I could show you, because it was just like one night.
Yeah, I can imagine, like, he is a very refined artist. He's just incredible, man.
Yeah.
Like, just very, very talented and very good at his craft in that respect. Like, he's just, you see, like, I've watched videos of Jeff painting and stuff, and I think the tell that you can tell someone's really fucking good is how easy he makes it look.
Yes.
Like, he's literally just, we're just working like transparents and opaques, blah, 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 and it's done, and it looks incredible.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, sweet, that'll be easy, and you do it, and you're like, fuck, wasn't it look like Jeff's?
Yeah,
He's just incredible. Just absolutely incredible.
I think that's cool, man. But then also there's other people. There's a guy called Jeff Ensinger. Like, I got one of his prints. I bought it. It was quite expensive. It was a print of a skull that he did a series of skulls, realistic skulls. Yeah. With like
with like light sources and stuff.
Yeah, right. He did those, but his actual tattoo work is nothing like it. So like, I love that sometimes when you see that a tattoo artist can, like Nick Baxter does it. So there's Nick Baxter. He does his tattoo art is completely different to how refined his paintings are, because his paintings are just unbelievable. I remember getting his book. I can't remember what it was called now, but I remember getting that, and over the years he's stayed consistently amazing at his own like realism painting and stuff, because he paints like surgical stuff.
Yeah, like a fucking worm crawling out of someone's skin and stuff. Yeah, he's incredible. His tattoos as well are fucking so good. Yeah. I saw he did a sleeve on a tattoo artist that guested at an old studio I used to work at, and it was just one whole arm, just a giant vagina. Wow. So literally, like a whole vagina down this dude's arm. He had like piles on his wrist, and it, like, you say that and you think like, what the fuck? But it looked insane. Just like, it looked so fucking good and so saturated. It was just like, it was one of those tattoos where you just go, fuck me, man, that's good, you know? Even though it was a fucking vagina.
I know, yeah. Imagine somebody coming to you with that subject matter. You know what I mean? Just like, I've got an idea, you're gonna love it. Honestly, it's abstract, it's out there, but I just love vaginas. So the guy with it on was a fucking lunatic, to be fair, like absolute Looney Tune. That's so figures he had it. Yeah, man, that is incredible. As far as like what you're doing, do you always see yourself, you know, pushing down this route? Because I've seen artists over the years, you know, they'll push for a certain part on one style, and then they'll try and move to another style, or they'll try and push on this. Are you? Because I feel like, you know, for me, you know, like talking about your realism style, and I think people who know you will agree with me in a certain sense. Your realism is fucking incredible, and over the years I've seen it evolve. And it's just your realism. Like, I don't see, I could look at a piece that you've done and know that you've done it just by the way that you've selected to render it. Like, it's hard to explain, and I'm probably... Yeah, I fully, like, don't see that at all. No, you won't. I'm totally like, oh, I haven't got a style, I'm fucking, Yeah. Like, again, the artist curse, isn't it, a little bit? Yeah, people will see that. People, I mean... Yeah, even I said that, you know, like people say, oh, I know that you've done that. You know, it's like, huh? You know, you just because
Yeah.
like I say, you could have a picture of, you could render a tattoo of the Joker, and I could, and it'd be from the same image, and it looks completely different.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But
yeah, definitely.
But I think with your style, you know, I think I love seeing it progress, and it'd be nice to see you keep pushing and pushing it. And I think your large scale work as well, like big back pieces, you know, stuff like that. I think on a different level, man, definitely.
I mean, I definitely like. I feel like I've got so fucking far to go.
Yeah.
Like I really. Yeah. Again, like I guess it's an artist thing, but you doubt your work all the time, and like. So I'm definitely, want to push stuff and want to just try and like, and again, like this sort of lockdown's given me a lot of time for reflection.
Yeah.
And you sort of recenter yourself a little bit and think, right, where do I want to kind of go? And I've definitely got, more ideas and more stuff more kind of styles I want to push out. Yeah. But I don't think I'd change from realism now.
No.
Like, I think I really, I think I just kind of want to refine and kind of keep doing what I'm doing. Yeah. But just make it better, really. Just kind of keep going with it all.
Do you prefer, I suppose it is what it is, but do you prefer working in colour realism when you're tattooing, or black and grey? Like, I suppose it just depends what the subject matter is, but
black and grey.
Yeah, black and grey.
Yeah, just through like, and I think painting for me has progressed that more, because with painting I can saturate an area and mix colours super quick, and everything kind of mixes how I know it's going to mix.
Yeah.
Whereas when I'm tattooing in colour, everything's so much slower, and everything's so much like even the inks, man. Like again, when I was first started tattooing, you'd have like a basic ink set or like a basic brown ink set. They fuck with the ink so much now.
Yeah.
It's really hard to mix, because like I'll see a colour and I'll be like, I'll start mixing it. I'll be like, oh, that's a fucking green blue, or that's a red blue, and I didn't even know that. So that's completely fucked all my mixes. Yeah. So now I've got to start again. It's frustrating, man. I think the ink companies have just exploited people far too much now.
Yes.
And I say that to some of the guys that I work with, like one of the guys I work with does traditional, and he likes to buy a lot of inks, and I say to him, like, you can mix that, you can just. You can mix that colour. You don't need to buy 40 inks. Like you could have 6 inks and pretty much mix any colour you fucking want.
Yeah. Yeah. You know? And that's the artist of you coming out though. That's you. The work that you've put in at home. That's what I mean. It starts to herald down and push back on you. And I used to hear like again, full circle, Nico Tato used to talk about that all the time. He's like, you can mix your colours. You mix your colours to get a flesh tone. You do this, you mix it together. But now, obviously, there's so many companies now that produce tattoo inks. And then they'll get, you look at an artist like, I was looking the other day, well, weeks and weeks ago now, but there's an artist that I love called Victor Chill, and he's got sponsored by this company called Solid Ink, and I was like, that just set my mind racing. I'm like, who are these? Do I need to buy some of these? You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
And I'm looking at them, and I'm like, no, I've got all them colours. What?
We're all totally guilty of it. Like, you see a machine and some incredible artist has like done a tattoo of it, and you're like, fuck, I bet spend 800 quid on that machine as well then, because that's going to make me tattoo exactly the same as them. We're all guilty. Like, I'm terrible for machines. I buy every new machine that comes out. Yeah. And I'll use it for 20 minutes and then go back to my Dragonfly that I've used for 10 years, Yeah. Like, every time. And the guys at the studio take the piss out of me every fucking time. But it's just one of those things, isn't it? It's like heroin. You're just chasing that next, like, maybe that'll make me a bit better. Maybe that'll make me tattoo a bit easier. Yeah. And I think the supply companies are fuckers for doing that as well, because they know that.
They know, yeah.
And it's the same in everything. Like, I keep marine fish and corals. Like, that's another like massive passion of mine. And it's exactly the same in that industry. Like, every year, the light companies and stuff are bringing out brand new lights and stuff. Yeah. You just think, like, it doesn't make a fucking difference. Yeah. It's doing exactly the same thing. It's literally doing exactly the same.
It's so true.
But
it's so true.
It's business, isn't it? It's when big corporations get into industries and go, right, we've got to make money. And we don't make money from selling people things once and then not selling it to them again.
Yeah, that's well true, man. And you, like you say, it's so easy to be guilty of that, but you've got to watch out for it, because sometimes you're just spending money where you don't need to spend money. You know, like you say, especially with tattoo machines. You know, like I was always one of them where I'd be like, I'll be looking for this one, looking at that one, and I'd be so close to buying it. But then I just recently, over the past few years as well, I've been like, no, it's all right. You've got two machines that you know. You're happy with, you know what I mean? I think it's a big thing, is that when, you know, like becoming how did you feel like becoming a parent? Did that alter the way you worked, or did that change your perspective in any way or anything like that?
Yeah, like I definitely, like, my priorities adjusted slightly, which took a little bit of time as well, because I've always been a bit of a workaholic. Like you know, I'll tattoo all day. I'll come home, I'll paint till midnight, and I was doing that 4 or 5 nights a week. When you got 2 kids, you can't do it, you know. And I was working 6 days a week, and it just got to the point where I was stressed out because I wasn't working enough, but I was stressed out because I wasn't seeing my kids. Yeah. And I think you just have to strike a balance with it. And I'm fucking lucky. My partner is absolute godsend. Like she puts up with me fucking painting and going surfing after work till fucking midnight or whatever. You know, she like never bats an eye, never says anything. And so it was never like I stopped working a couple of days a week, and it was never from her. Like it was me going, I've got this family here and I've got my work here, and I kind of need to like sort of bring it in a bit, because at the minute, it definitely wasn't balanced. So I think now I've pretty much got that in check, like better.
That's good. That's good. Yeah. I think it's. You've got to. I know myself. Like I can only really now realistically work for 5 hours a day if I'm tattooing, like 5 at a push 6. You know what I mean? Because there's other things I've got to do. Plus I've got my kids, you know what I mean? And then other hobbies, you know what I mean? When we're allowed to do them, there's tons of other things I want to do as well. And, you know, there's no point in being self-employed and having the freedom to do what you want to do if you can't have quality of life as well. Like see your kids, do things with your kids, watch them grow, and have other hobbies as well, you know what I mean? But it's good that you've got a good partner. Having a good partner is super important. You know, I think having someone that's going to support you as well as you support them, you know what I mean? There's a give and take. I think that's a really
absolutely,
good, because it's all about compromise, and I think that's a really important thing to have in a relationship. How long have you been together?
Gosh, you're gonna kill me now. 7 years.
Right. Yeah.
7 years, maybe 8 years.
Yeah.
And we've got a 5-year-old and a 2-year-old.
Wow.
2 little girls.
That's so good.
Which at the minute is tough, isn't it? It's hard having kids like constantly just like fucking there, and do
you think you'd have any more kids, man?
No.
No.
2's a good number, I think.
I think so.
Like throw a third in there, you've got like a little fucking rogue agent, haven't you? Like 2 each kind of watch one.
I think I've got a brother myself, so having someone, I always wanted that for my kids. If I was going to have a kid, I definitely wanted them to have a brother or sister, you know. So I've got a little girl and a little boy. So mine's
cool.
6, nearly 7, and Felix is 3, nearly 4, and it's just
similar sort of age then.
Yeah. It goes really quick though, man. Like I'll say, you know the deal, man. It just goes fast.
It's insane, absolutely insane.
Yeah, man. But it is what it is, and I think, like for me, when I had kids, it just seemed to push me much more to try and get because I always want to be as good as I can be as an artist. But like having kids was like, right, okay, I've got to. You know, I've got to keep pushing and pushing and pushing, but
I think it like also for me it made me sort of reevaluate my priorities a little bit, because again like, I was always like, I want to be top of the game in the tattoo industry, I want to fucking know all the cool kids, go to all the dinners after conventions and all that shit, and then you sort of get a family and you start doing other shit, and it makes you realise like, no, that stuff's important.
No,
you know, like like we're tattooing, we get to do a job we love every single day. Like, we get paid more than most people to just fuck around with our friends and do a craft that we really enjoy.
Yeah.
And we have a family, and we like, that's the important shit,
Yeah.
Posting on Instagram that like, you're having dinner with fucking whoever's name it is. It's just bollocks, isn't it?
Yeah.
And like, I think, but I kind of wanted that before, without thinking how ridiculous it all was. I wanted to be like, oh yeah, I want all these followers on Instagram, and I want to like fucking do all this stuff. And then again, you realise, and you're just like, oh, it's fucking bullshit, man.
Yeah, but I think you're allowed to think that to a certain degree at certain points. You know what I mean? Like, how much do you change through your life? You know what I mean? I think that's just part of growing up. Like when I first started years ago, the mindset I had was completely different. And then you think about further than that when you were a kid. You know what I mean? Like a proper kid.
Definitely.
I feel like I'm a completely different person. When people say like, if you could be, a teenager again, would you? No, I wouldn't, because like right now, I am amalgamation of everything that over the years that have shaped you and to be the person you are, and to have the mind that you've got now is valuable. I think life's given to you in a perfect little envelope. You know what I mean? It's like you can't go back, you can't go forward. You just got to keep moving forward. You know what I mean? And that's just the way it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. And it does. It makes you like, just enjoy life a bit more, I think. Like when you look back on your life and realise the things that definitely weren't important, it kind of makes you, I don't know, with the whole, like, I don't know, say famous tattoo artist thing, kind of losing that it's like a massive weight off your chest.
Yeah.
Like you think like, you've got bookings, you've got money coming in, as long as you're doing solid tattoos and you've got cool customers, like for me now, like that's all that matters to me, really.
Yeah.
Like I want to do more traveling, because I love traveling and I love meeting new artists and stuff.
Yeah.
But apart from that, like I'm pretty happy just pushing my work and pushing yourself as an artist, like more so than how other people see you as an artist, I think.
Yeah.
Is right.
Yeah. I think that's the case. As long as people stick to their own path, I think
definitely.
You can't go too far wrong. I think that's the case with that. You know what I mean? Yeah, man. So hopefully lockdown's not going to go on for too long, and we're going to get to a point where we can get back to work. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it just feels like it's going to go on forever at the moment.
I know.
But I feel like I've fallen into a groove where now, because it's took me a bit to get used to it, but now I feel like I'm in a groove where each day is just very similar, but I'm used to it now.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I'm trying to keep busy. I've painted my house. Like, been trying every little job in the garden. It sucks. We started doing an extension in our house.
Yeah.
Which, like, a fuck off great extension on the side of our house. So there's loads of ground workers in, and we started 2 weeks before the lockdown.
Oh.
So our garden is a fucking swamp.
Oh
no! The ground workers came in, just took everything away, destroyed the whole garden with a digger. And we're like, oh yeah, we're all off now because we're not allowed to fucking work.
Oh,
sweet.
no.
So we got like this fucking this swamp garden that we've got to live with at the minute.
Oh,
which
shit.
is fun.
And you say you surf. Are you even allowed to go surfing?
Nope.
Oh, what?
No, yeah, I know. Social distancing. How could you get further away from people?
I know. See,
yeah,
it's crazy.
They've closed everything, man. They've like shut off all the car parks to the beaches.
Yeah.
Fucking shit.
It's same here. Like I love hiking, and all the places that I want to go to are all just shut. You know what I mean? You can't go to the car parks. Have got big concrete blocks, so you can't get your car in. You know
no way.
Yeah, man. Yorkshire Water. So the places up here, all the beauty spots, they've just put like big concrete blocks in the way of the car park, so you can't drive up and drive into them. They've shut, like, we've got a massive hill near us which everybody hikes up. They've completely shut that. Nobody can go up there because, I mean, it's just strange, isn't it? This has just never happened before, so I think it's hard for us all to deal with. It'd be interesting to see how tattoo artists come out from this, I think, though.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a weird, like, the thing is, if it goes on till August, I don't see how a lot of studios are going to survive.
No. No.
Like, fuck me, man. If you've not got help and you've not got savings and stuff, which as tattoo artists, especially younger tattoo artists, we all know we all spent all our fucking money as soon as it came in the door.
Yeah.
Like, I can imagine a lot of people are struggling.
Yeah, it's going to be a weird way. I think it's going to be interesting. Interesting to see how, if people can pick the ball up again as well, like as artists, like we were talking about before. Are we going to be able to go straight back to it? Is there going to be a certain amount of like just breaking back in again, or I suppose only time will tell, though.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
some strange times we live in, isn't it?
Yeah, dude, it's been proper good to talk to you.
You too, man.
I've got my son in the other room. It's just me and him, so I can hear him slowly like starting to tear everything apart. So I'm going to get back to him. But mate, honestly, thank you so much for taking your time.
No worries at all, man. Good to finally talk to you.
Yeah, man. It'd be interesting in a few months or however long to have another conversation and talk about other stuff in a different period, like, because I feel like every conversation at the moment is just about this COVID-19. So nice to talk to you.
It all gets drawn back to it, doesn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, and I'd love to talk to you more on a podcast again about painting. And I think I'm gonna be more inspired from today to carry on painting to get everything back out again.
Mate, do it. Get on it.
Yeah, man. So awesome. Good to talk to you, man.
Yeah, you too, man.
All right, stay safe.
All right, mate. Take it easy, buddy.
See you in a bit, man. Bye-bye.